Boss chicks, boss chicks, boss chicks, boss chicks, boss chicks, boss chicks.
To all the queens who sacrifice their dream, to all the queens who put their lives aside, this is now your time to shine. This is now your time to shine.
Boss chicks, boss chicks.
Rise up, take your place. Rise up, take your place. Rise up, don't look down. Just rise up. Rise up.
And recording is started. Welcome back to episode number 3 of Boss Chicks. I am one of your hosts, Sena. We got Latoya up in the house, Andrea up in the house, and Lashondra up in the house. And we are happy as always to be back to bring you another episode of Boss Chicks. Tonight we are talking about balancing life as a mom with distance learning, how we're managing distance learning and entrepreneurship and working in corporate America. That seems like it's been a big thing here right now. What we're going through with the pandemic and all. And so we just wanted to, tell you how we've been surviving. It ain't been easy, not at all. Trying to run businesses, trying to go to work. And we decided to bring on some guests tonight. So we're going to be introducing them a little bit later. Before we get started with our guests, we're going to have Andrea kick us off and talk about, although her daughter has not started school yet.
Nope.
But just like, what are her expectations and the things that she's expecting, when Addison does get ready to go to school? Go ahead, Andrea.
So I don't know. I think I thought a lot about it, and I guess it's either going to go back to what it was, which, it's really hard to say because there have been so many changes to remove us from what it was. Mm-hmm. So I guess my fear in having her go back is, of course, the exposure, but it's not just COVID. I mean, there's always going to be some new kind of thing or some new illness, some new version of the flu. So there's always that exposure. From a medical standpoint, they say it's good, it builds your immunity, but at the same time, there's that fear that there's just so much risk. Yeah. In sending everybody back. Even now, I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they're opening things back up or they're sending people back. But there's that. But then there's also that what's it called? Like, I would like her to have the experience of being in school, being surrounded by her peers, being able to have that social development. Because I want her to be social, or at least be able to socialize in a healthy way. It's good for her development. It's good for just a skill overall, being able to work together and not shy, but just be comfortable being around people. I want her to be a part of sports, and you have to, kind of have contact to play some sports. There's basketball, I was gonna say football. I think she'll play football.
She can play lacrosse.
Yeah, or she can play flag if she wants to, but I mean, there are things that are going to require you to be shoulder to shoulder with somebody, and that's okay. I want her to build those teamwork skills, those, there's no I in team kind of thing. But I guess it's just the unknown. Like, it's kind of like, I will evaluate that when I get there because she's so little. But I guess, I mean, if anything, I'll send her to you, Sena.
Bring her on over.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. You know, it is, we don't know what the future holds. We only go, you know, everything is a day by day basis, a week by week. We're walking and learning things as we go and as we grow. So, you know, you got some time. And like you said, you did say something that was very key, sports. Like with this being my son's senior year, it was really kind of hard for us to just like grasp the idea of what if we don't have sports this year, you know? He's put so much into it, and not only that, like other kids too, and some of those kids need that for scholarships. So, you know, that would be devastating to a lot of kids if they're not able to return to like the sportsmanship that, you know, that was their release for certain things. So yeah, that's really good. Lashondra, her kids are actually going back to school. So we want to hear about you. Like, what have you put in place to ensure, you know, if the schools do close back, you're an entrepreneur, so you work from home, but like, what do you have that's to prepare, like, if they go back to another episode in March where they like, oh, close back up again? Like, what's some of the tips that you would give to some parents?
Well, I'm hoping that does not happen.
How did you adjust when that first happened?
How did I adjust when it first happened?
Yeah.
Well, when it first happened, I just closed down everything. And I didn't work at all. Because I was afraid to let people in my house and stuff, because my mom was one of the first people that actually got COVID. Yes. So I was real scared at first, but as time has gone on, I'm actually excited that they're going back to school. I really appreciate the teachers because like this is a very hard job, is to monitor them, monitor what they're doing, monitor what they shouldn't be doing, and then complete all my stuff that I need to complete. So it has definitely been hard, but luckily I kind of have a really good support system. My kid's grandma is very involved and active, and she helps a lot. And I think that's kind of what makes it a little bit easier for me, you know, having a support system, so that, you know, I do have someone that can pick them up from school in case anything happens. And then like all of my kids' family works at their school too, so that kind of helps.
That's really good.
Yeah, so that helps. But because I actually had considered moving them to Lakeside, but yeah, I always think about what if something happens. So yeah,
that's support. We can't. I think every episode we have talked about like that support system. Having that support is like, it's so much comfort, you know, knowing that, you know what, in case I as a parent can't be there, their dad's not able to be there, who else can we call, you know? So that's really good. I remember when Maya started her new school, and I was so happy that school was actually at home, because I was so used to having my friend Leslie, you know, as the go-to person. Leslie, what's going on with my school? Like, so not having that whenever something teachers weren't communicating like they, you know, do in elementary school, having somebody there that knows what's going on in the school, that you can pick up the phone and be like, what's going on in their class? Hey, do you know what's going on? So having that is very key. And I'm excited. Like, I'm excited for you. You actually get to get back to full-time work.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really happy about that.
Lashondra is also celebrating her birthday this month, you guys.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Lashondra, you want to tell them how old you turned? No, not really.
I'm going to be 34.
No way. Looking like a 20-year-old.
Yay.
Looking like a teenager. Look, y'all, we look good. We somebody's moms,
thank you.
You know, we looking good. Girl, you got it going on. So Latoya,
thank you.
You got kids in different grades. And it's a lot, you know, having to work a full-time business, and your business is based off of your client's schedule. So how are you managing to work with the kids in multiple grades?
Let's see. Back in March, that was quite the challenge in March when everything first shut down. I had to also close up shop. You know, although I work from home, my kids are a priority, so I had to shut it down and make sure that I was tending to them and making sure that they were staying on track with their, you know, their schoolwork. Now it has definitely gotten a lot easier because there was structure when they opened back up in August and went back to school. So it's easier that I was able to open back up and still, well, I'm right outside and they're right inside, so I can go back between, you know, between my clients and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to. But I did, I rearranged my whole living room. It looks like a classroom.
It really do.
I bought desks for them. I just wanted them to have some type of normalcy so that they felt that they were still in school, although they weren't. I needed them to focus. And I felt I didn't want them in their bedrooms just because I know my kids. So I needed them to be all together and just focused. So I rearranged my living room into a classroom. And it's been good. They get their first progress reports coming, I think it's next week, and they're all doing very good.
That's good.
It is a challenge, especially with my oldest, because you know, that high school experience, it's just been a challenge. And I know down the line, socially, things will come up because they've been in the house since March, but we just got to get them through. But it's been a challenge, but it's been doable.
Yeah.
You know, I am now able to get back to my clients and still give them the time that they need. So
that's good. It's you know what this pandemic kind of showed, that not to take away from anybody, but that as a woman and a mother, we adapt swiftly. Like, we can really swiftly adapt to change. Like, it's just like something that God has literally placed in you. Like, although it might seem like it's something that gets really chaotic in a midst, but we're able to swiftly adjust. Like, it showed me, because I just listening to a lot of moms and people talk, and just seeing how creative parents have gotten during this time. Like you said, you turned your whole living room into like a school. I've seen some parents have like border paper and big old whiteboards, and I'm like, where was that creativity before? Like, so it shows me that it's always in us. We just never had any reason to really activate it. So kudos to all the moms out there who had to adapt and adjust to, you know, parenting. Not just the moms, the dads. Kudos to you guys, you know, the single dads, the dads who's active, you know, all of the parents that are playing an active role in adjusting during this time. We know it ain't been easy, because we parents too, and we know. Andrea, although her baby is not in school yet, she probably see it and hear it with her siblings.
Oh yeah. So funny. Let me tell you something. So my nephew JJ, Amber's son, he you know how you can kind of message your teacher? I don't know if you saw it, but she posted it. But he was having a hard time finding an assignment. She said, it should be on this system, blah blah blah. Give me 10 minutes, I'll look into it. He messaged her back. He's all, how's it going? It's been 10 minutes. I was like, I love that.
He's being
you gotta stay on top of teachers sometimes too. So that's good.
You do. In the daycare arena, it's been really hard for a lot of daycare providers, because they're trying to balance life with our normal kids, students who range from like infants to school age, and then we have the school age too. And what we've been learning, like in different groups, that you have to have patience, one, and then the teachers have to have patience with the providers, because we're learning too, and they have to have patience with the parents, because this is all new to everyone. So although parents are home, they're still working. So it's like a whole thing where if they can't be in front of Zoom with their kids and teach them, like sit there and monitor them teaching, and still make a living to provide for them. So it has brought out another level of patience on all avenues. And with that, we're just going to hop right into the rest of our segment and bring on our guests. We have Angela, who is a mom of 2, and she has her business, Angela Grace Events, and she's going to talk with us. She's also a full-time wife. She's going to come on and talk to us about how she's been balancing life as a mom and doing distance learning, trying to keep up with business while distance learning. We also have Monique, who is the owner of Blendies. Blendies is a smoothie company here in San Diego, California. And she is the mom of 3 children. And she's going to pretty much talk to us about how she's been balancing life outside of the home while distance learning. So we have Angela, who's working from home in distance learning, as we are working from home in distance learning. So she's going to give us some tips and talk about how she's been doing it. And then we got Monique, who's going to give us the other aspects for the parents that's out there and they have to actually leave the house, how they've been able to manage and stay on top of their kids to make sure that they're getting the assignments done, especially when their kids are not, they don't have, they're not in like an after school program, or they don't have a babysitter or a nanny. Like what steps has she ensured to bring that on? So stay tuned, we'll be right back. All right, we are back with our guest tonight, Monique of Blendies. Monique, go ahead and tell us who you are and how has life been with distance learning while working outside of the home?
Hello, my name is Monique Stewart. I am owner of Blendies. Blendies has been in the works for over 8 years. We are currently operating out of a kiosk in the city of El Cajon. And I'm 45 years old, so yeah. So I'm a little seasoned. But listen, so one of the things that whole shift in the
We're going to pause you for 1 second, Monique. We're having a little bit of difficulties.
Okay.
Let me see. All right, go ahead and get started again.
From the beginning?
Thank you for taking time while you're traveling back to San Diego for joining us, because you are currently at the airport right now. So this is that boss chick stuff, y'all. Like, bosses be doing it.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Can I just say this? You have to find time to do some of the things you enjoy, even as the boss, even as a mom. And so here's a weekend of just taking some time to enjoy the fruit of my labor. Quickly, I am the owner of Blendies, like I said, and the biggest obstacle that I found in this whole distance learning is just to adjust to a schedule that I've been accustomed to as long as my children have been in school. Now, the wonderful part about this is, as a parent, I've always had the mindset of making them or teaching them to be independent, teaching them not to depend on me to ask questions that I think they can figure out on their own. So I'm anticipating what the needs are for the next 3 months based on the shift that I'm seeing happening. So there's a lot of things that the school systems are not telling us, and I think it's so important to do your own homework and not wait for the media to release information that's already been released and the decisions have already been made. So I guess in a way I was prepared for the new schedules, if you will, but you know, my peace of mind comes from I've already put in my children what they need to be independent and be successful, even without me standing over there with them, guiding their hands. Now, I do have a relationship established with all of the teachers. I did request weekly and daily updates on if there's any missed assignments and all of that. So I'm on top of it. And one of the things my daughter Zayla said is, Mom, you know, you seem to be much more stricter now that we are distance learning than you was when we were in school. And I'm like, and maybe I am, but it's in a different way. It's not that I shifted the responsibility of their education, but I think that because they are independent, if you will, and responsible, I'm holding them to that level of accountability. I'm holding them to what I know that I put inside of them. And so I guess I don't know, but they're doing well. And I'm happy that I can say that just, I've taken the time to put into them what they need for these times that we're in right now.
That's good. What tips or advice would you give to moms that's out there working in corporate America and still distance learning?
One of the tips I would say is to establish a relationship with the teachers. And I'm not saying you haven't, but I mean, be specific on what your needs are according to your lifestyle, your work schedule, and things like that. Because one of the things I ask for my children is to allow them more time and not load them down with a bunch of assignments at once, because I know that it's overwhelming for me to watch it to that degree, but more than to accommodate through this time. And what they always tell me is get through some things, able to adjust to your specific needs.
Okay.
If I work, I need.
I think we're breaking back up again.
Yeah, and they're able to make the adjustment. So you have to know what your needs are and communicate them with the teachers and hold them accountable to that. And they hold us accountable. One of the things that I can tell you is that these teachers are holding us accountable for something that we all are learning at the same time. So it's equally important to hold them accountable for the things that they're holding us accountable for. Like my children's education is important, so I definitely try to communicate that and make sure that my needs as a parent is met as well as my children.
That's really good. Well, we want to thank you for joining us while you're taking that much needed self-care. We talked about that last week in our last episode. Latoya was very adamant about self-care. So we want to certainly thank you for taking time out of your self-care time to spend with us, to give us that wisdom on parenting while out of distant learning while away from your home. You gave us some really good things, and I picked up some notes about that, where, making sure your kids are independent in the aspect where they're learning, and communicating with the teachers. I don't think I communicated a lot with my kids' teachers this semester, so that was very good. Thank you. That was some really, really good key points. Well, we're gonna let you go. You have traveling grace on your way back home to San Diego. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and you have a safe flight.
Can I say one thing before we go?
Go ahead.
Ladies, boss chicks, be encouraged. You can do it. Toya meant time management, and I think that is so key in any endeavor you're pursuing. So listen, you can do it. Be encouraged. You got this. Boss chicks!
Boss chicks! Thank you. Have a good night. All right, that was some good information from Monique. We are excited. Communication, that was good. We must hold the teachers accountable just like they hold us accountable. That was really good. Who thinks about that? We know that they have a lot on their plate, but then when you think about it, how would they know? How would they know how we feel if we don't specify our needs and our requests on where we at? They are we're assuming things that they know things. They're assuming the same thing. So if we don't communicate that, then yeah, we're just lost causes, I guess. So that was
I would say that at my school, the teachers are very good with communication. They send out weekly summaries. If you're missing an assignment, they let you know right away. They're not waiting for that first 6 months. So it's not a surprise, because we all are in this together. So the more you communicate with one another, the better. It's been really helpful.
You know what I found that's really interesting too? This is a side note, is that, most teachers are kind of older, in the high school teachers, not elementary school teachers. So them learning the systems of of technology has been so interesting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I've seen those videos, those poor people.
It has been quite interesting. And all I can say is like, you know what? We really have to learn patience in this season, like patience for everyone, because they're trying to learn and teach as they're going. It's like they're on the job training. And me and Angela talked about this earlier. They are literally on the job training, and they some of the kids are not as friendly or as disciplined. So, you know, they laugh, they joke, they do things. And then the teachers, they really don't know. Like you can't, and some parents are not as sensitive either. Like, you know, we can be kind of rude. I know I was rude to a teacher, like, well, come on, make up your mind. Which one you want them to use? And then I had to go back and be like, you know what? Sena, you know, they might not know. And I was like, okay, let me go back. Let me not be that parent. So I had to actually go back and apologize. And I was like, well, which, you know, thing would you like them to use so that we can know moving forward what to do? So yeah, parents, we got to be a little bit more sensitive to the teachers because they're learning too. And teachers, be a little bit more sensitive. If you that teacher parent, be a little bit more sensitive to us, because you trying to teach while your kid at home learning, while we're trying to teach and work too. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our next guest. Her name is Angela. She is the owner of Angela Grace Events. She is also a full-time mom and a full-time wife. Go ahead, Angela, and take us off.
That's my
Oh,
sister.
yeah.
That's your sister.
That's my sister. Y'all my sisters. And thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I really love what you guys are doing now. I mean, when Andrea told me about it, I was like, yes, this is awesome. And Sena and I talked about this earlier, and I'm so excited for, you know, where you guys are going to take this. So thank you again for having me on. And yeah, I'm Angela Kiesenbing, and I am the CEO and event strategist for Angela Grace Events. And I believe every day is a reason to celebrate. I help women entrepreneurs in helping them build their business, grow their community through the planning and promotion of live, virtual, or in-person events. Right now, obviously virtual. And I have two beautiful, very energetic kids. I got a daughter who's 10 years old and a son who is 7. He just turned 7 this year. It's so hard to say that. He's my baby. And man, I've been married 14 years next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, we are praying that next year Hawaii is going to be open and easy to get to, because that's where we're going to be celebrating our 15-year anniversary. So,
Oh, can we come?
yeah. Let's go. Well, yeah,
Boss
the
Chix
kids are
take
coming.
Hawaii?
Huh? Yeah.
Boss Chix take Hawaii?
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be fun.
You guys can bring your what is that, overhead camera?
The overhead camera.
Drone,
the
yes,
wine
drone.
glass.
Yeah, so it's been fun. Actually, we were just talking about that. My Andrea, where she was like, "When did you get married again?" I was like, 2006. Yeah, but we've actually been together though. Gosh, 20. Is it 20 years? We had to get. I graduated in 2000. I'm giving my age away. It's all good. And it's 2020 now, so we've been together 20 years.
Wow! Congratulations.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
are you guys high school sweethearts too?
You know, I met him my senior year in high school. So
You guys, your family has a thing for high school romances. I see that longevity. Like, okay. I like that.
yeah, kind of. But yeah, it's
Okay.
been fun.
So tell us, Angela, how's distance learning been going in your household?
Oh man, it's been quite a roller coaster. You know, it's been fun. It's been fun. Like the first week was like a breeze. You know, like was it spring when all of this started happening? I feel like our kids go to a charter school, and I felt like they hit it out of the park, like compared to some of the other schools and the nightmares that I was hearing from my friends. I was like, man, like I can't really complain. It was like I almost felt like a little guilty saying, "Oh, we're fine," you know. But
And that transition went so well. I was so blessed to like, you know, that, you know, our teachers communicated everything well. That's why I was like, I was shaking my head when Monique was talking about like communication. That's so important. But you know, then fall came around, so I had these high expectations, and I'm like, okay, you know, let's do it. It's gonna be, you know, just like we're gonna pick up from, you know, June, and everything's gonna be fine. And you know, the first week went really good. Week 2, week 3, it was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And you know, it just took a while to build some of that consistency. And you know, I just had to keep telling myself, you know, like, give them grace, give yourself grace. Like, we're all trying to figure this out. Things are different. And our school's a little different. So half the kids are in person. So there's like site-based learners, and then there's us. We're distance learning. So like my daughter had class at 2:00 in the afternoon. And then my son had like class like early in the morning. So like there's 2 schedules that I'm managing, right? Because they're different grades. You got a 1st grader and a 5th grader, and then I've got my schedule to manage, and then my husband. And so we're like, you know, trying to figure out how we're going to do this. And I feel like we're getting to a good place right now. And at the same time, it's like, you know, we just got to be ready for anything, because things are changing by the week. And you know, and I feel like that's just the nature of the beast right now.
Do you have so with your business, you host a lot of events and they're virtual, and you're training. How are you managing? Are you building your calendar based on your kid's schedule, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I take a lot of my client calls. You know, I try to schedule them in between. And at first I wasn't really doing all that great about it, because I was like, oh, you know, I started scheduling. I usually do them in the afternoon because my husband gets off at 3. So I'm like, okay, let me try to figure this out. Where can I put it in? And, you know, I'm not going to lie. My kids have made an appearance on pretty much like 95% of my events. So it's like, what can I do, right? And I feel like, you know, and I have a lot of clients who don't have kids too. And so I think, you know, for them, it's like, it's cute at first. And it's like, oh, there they are again. You know, but for the most part, they understand. It's like, you know, this is the new normal. This is what we're living in right now. So like, my kid's gonna come and say hi. So like, people know my kids' names already. They have relationships with my clients. You know, and I'm grateful for that. You know, and I feel like that's, you know, that's really what it's all about right now. And it just kind of brought it back to the whole, you know, this is my success. This is where I feel like I'm at home and I'm comfortable. And hey, if you're bothered with my kid coming on screen, then maybe we shouldn't work together, you know, and it hasn't been the case, thankfully. But it's they've definitely been making some appearances, and thank God for the mute button, because then I could just say, quiet. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but there's that Cardi B voiceover where she's like, "We going live, I think I did that one. But that's how I feel like, you know, right? Like, I'll tell them like, okay, I'm going live here at this time and blah, blah. And, you know, my young one still isn't really great with time. So he'll come in, like, walk right here. I'm going to go poo. Can you wash my butt? Like, okay. Yes. Sure thing. And so I'm just like, all right. And then, you know, you see a little.
That's so funny, because it's, you know, having 3 kids in 3 different grades, and their schedules are all different. My son, he's in class, I think, I want to say from like 7:30 in the morning to like 2. Maya's in class from like 10:30 to 2, and Mariah, hers rotate. But having that on top of a daycare is the challengingest thing. How do you tell 2 and 3-year-olds, shh, the kids are in Zoom, I need you guys to keep quiet? So I have to constantly, like, if I'm going to like fix lunch or something, you know, that's usually the kid. My students have all been so adjusted to their schedule. Like, I've had these kids from since infancy, so they know, like, okay, after we do our lesson, it's free play. And so you'll hear my son, or I'll get a text from Maya or Malachi, and they'll be like, we're in class. Can you tell them be quiet? And I'm like, and then I have one little girl. She's 4, and she'll be like, but it's our playtime. Like, she'll go, but it's our playtime, Miss Sena. I'm like, I know it won't always be like this. Like, I'm always constantly telling them it won't always be like this. Can we use our inside voices? And they have no idea what an inside voice is. They inside voice is Miss Sena. So,
Right? Oh yeah.
so I just feel like, look, if you guys want these tuitions paid, you know, and y'all better leave my students alone, because these kids are gonna make noise. As long as my kids are not failing or anything like that, I just can't. That's just how we have to balance it out. Kids are gonna be kids. That's just how it is.
That's what the headphones are for. I can't get my kids to put their headphones on. It's like,
Oh,
they're here, they're over there. Sometimes they're all trying to, like, you know, be in the same room, and I'm like, I can't think right now. Go put some headphones on.
Mariah refuses to use her headphones. I'm like, what was the purpose of us investing in these things if you don't use them? Like, oh my gosh. What advice would you give to the parent who is going through the same thing that you're going through right now?
I gotta go to first, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Give the teachers grace, give your kids grace, because this is all new for all of us, you know.
Yeah.
And I know that can be hard. You know, we talked about patience, and, you know, we're all trying to figure this out together. And I know some people are maybe tired of hearing that, but, you know, it's true, we are. Yeah. And so the more you can offer grace and give yourself grace, because there are times too where I'm just like, oh shoot, I forgot to, like, I told my kid the wrong time to get on Zoom, because, like, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday is consistent, but Thursday's not. And then Friday is the same. And I'm just like, you know, and I was like, you know what? Text the teacher, forgive me, like, this happened, you know, and just being open and having that open communication with your kids and your teachers and your spouse, really just kind of letting everybody know what you need, and, you know, what the expectations are, right? The other thing I would say, and I say this a lot, just when you're dealing with any kind of maybe uncertain situations, is that, you know, we're all doing the best we can with the resources we have. And that kind of helps us become more empathetic with, you know, what's going on with the way that our kids are maybe acting out, the way that we ourselves are kind of like handling things, and then the way the school is handling it. So we're doing the best with the resources we have, right? And then third would be focus on what you can control, not on what
That's good.
Yeah. And so, like, right now, and that's what I'm telling my kids, like, you know, if they're starting to talk about, oh, this person's drawing on the board, or this, you know, on the screen while or this person is, you know, kicking me out of, you know, whatever, like, okay, or kicking somebody out of the call. It's like, okay, well, who can you control? Myself, right? And and we've got to learn that self-discipline, the self-soothing, the self-care. And our school is really great about practicing mindfulness. So, like, you'll see, well, we have that language in our family. So, like, what do you need to do? Like, take a deep breath, like, go to your quiet space. And sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. And it's just like, you know, but yeah, focus on what you can control, give yourself grace, and really just, you know that we're all doing the best that we can with the resources that we have.
That's good. That's going to be my theme for the week. Give yourself grace. Because you know what's funny is that is the topic, the theme for our church this month, grace and truth. So that's really good. Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace. Angela grace.
Our apostle used to have this thing where he used to say, give what you want others to give to you. So practice grace, giving grace, so that when it's time and you need grace, someone will extend that grace to you, you know. So that's really good. Well, thank you, Angela. We are excited to have you come on and share with us some tips. Tell everybody, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and it's just Angela Grace Events. And then on my website's also angelagraceevents.com. And yeah, look forward to celebrating with you guys some more.
What's your next event that you have coming up?
Ooh, thank you for asking. I'm actually speaking at an event. It's called, I gotta make sure I get the name right. It's Virtual Assistant Virtuoso Summit. And that's happening. Actually, I have some tickets, some free tickets for that if you guys want. I can send the links, and the code is Angela100. And
Okay.
it's for freelancers, service-based entrepreneurs, and virtual assistants. And it's all about, like, you know, how to gain clients and retain clients. So I'm going to be talking about how to build your community and your business through events, which is what I'm all about. And that's happening October 19 to 23, the 23rd.
Oh.
I'm speaking on that Friday.
Okay, so make sure to send me that information, and we will definitely put the information up on our social media pages, so anybody who wants to join in, they can contact Angela. Once again, we want to thank you so much for joining us, and you have a good night, and keep up all the great work.
You too, guys. Thank you so much, Boss Chicks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, that was certainly a lot to digest and just learn. Wow, give yourself grace. I like that. And open up communications with the teachers, you know. Let them know your expectations. A lot of times we don't, you know, we just assume we do have the, well, I can't say we. I know I have an assumption problem. I will assume things with the quickness. Like, you don't communicate with me? Well, then you leave me to my mind and my thoughts. And my thoughts can go left field sometimes. So Monique did not have a chance to share where she is located, so I just wanted to give her that shout out. If you are want to follow her on social media, she is at Blendies on Instagram, and that's BLENDEES, Blendies on Instagram, and it's also Blendies on Facebook, and she's located in El Cajon, California. She has the best, I'm going to say the best acai bowls, her incredible hog, and her ginger tea is like,
her ginger tea is so
Good. It's so good.
Throw that out there. That ginger tea is like liquid.
Yes.
I can't even say that. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just gonna say it's liquid godness. Like, it is so good. Oh my gosh. So yeah, this has definitely been a week, a very interesting and great week. Had some great stuff going on. Once again, you know, parents, hang in there. Life is it's not easy. Don't give up. Don't quit. Even one of the things that Angela said that was good, what did she call it? Mindfulness. Like, if you have to move away or come out of a situation, you know, walk away, de-stress, breathe, pray, meditate, whatever it is you need to do to get you refocused. Extend grace to your kids. Extend grace to the parents, the teachers, all that good stuff. You ladies got any last minute tips for people?
I guess one thing I forgot to share is I'm actually in an online class, so I'm distance learning with a newborn, well, 7 months, almost 7-month baby. And
talk about that.
I know, I can't believe I forgot about that. I'm over here trying to check my grade and it's not posted. But one of the things, like, I was scared to communicate with my teacher once why I didn't get an assignment in on time. And it was, you know, like Addison, she was kind of not fussy, but she was really needy. She's a really good baby, but she was kind of really needy one day. And it was a day where it took me like 2 hours to finish 2 questions. And I was like, oh my God, I really need to get this done. I didn't get my work turned in on time. And so I turned in what I had, which was only 3 out of the 4 assignments. And I meant to reach out to her, but I didn't, because I'm like, great, she's going to think I'm not like, that I don't care about my work, or, you know, I wasn't trying to ask for like exceptions to you know, because if everybody else got their work in, why couldn't you? And then so that following week, she pretty much went over everything, and she was like, you know, I'm not going to ding you guys for needing more time because we're learning something new. And I'm like, well, shoot, maybe she'll give me a pass. So I reached out to her and I told her, I was like, you know, it was a really hard day with my baby, and I didn't get all my assignments in. I just wanted to let you know, I didn't want you to think I didn't care about my work. And she was like, go ahead and send me your assignment. And she let me turn it in. She hasn't graded it yet, but she let me turn it in. But I mean, doing the distance learning while having to take care of Addison, it's been challenging because, you know, I have to sit there and listen in class, and it's hard to keep a baby still.
Yeah.
But thank God that she records the chat sessions, and she also loads her annotated PowerPoints for us to go back and reference. So I think the teachers are, you know, like everybody said, they're doing the best with what they have. And it's been good. You know, my teacher, she also has a young baby, and you can kind of hear him in the background too. So it's nice that she understands that, like, you have a young baby. So not like I'm going to give you a pass, but like, we're here, you know? So
she's giving you that grace.
Yes, she gave me that grace. And I'm trying to give her that grace because I want to know my grade, but she hasn't posted it. But
oh gosh, she like, look, be patient. I was patient with you to send that assignment.
I know, that's why I'm like, so I'm just gonna let it be. Maybe she'll give me 100. Maybe she's just taking her time and giving me 100%. So I'm gonna just let it be.
Well, fingers crossed for you.
Yes.
What about you, Toya?
Well, I, like Andrea, I will be starting distance learning myself in November. So I will be in school. I will have 4 kids in school. I will still be taking clients all day long. So y'all pray for my strength, okay?
You got this.
But one of the things that I'm taking away tonight is to just be kind to myself and to be good to myself during this season of going back into school. I have to be patient with myself because it's a lot to juggle. So I will be mindful. I will take time and to woosah, to take time for me, a little bit of self-care, which also means that I extend that same grace to my kids as well, because I know I'm gonna need it, so yes.
You guys are totally awesome, taking on classes during this time, especially with you guys' schedule already. So kudos to you guys. I'm praying for a successful school year for you guys, greater grace, just like y'all giving them grace, that y'all have the great same grace.
That's the word lately, grace.
Right, like
that's
supposed to be my theme, like grace this season, because we are in a season where we have to extend grace to people. So yeah, so want to give a couple of shout outs in before we end this session for the night. I can't believe we're already going into episode 4. It seemed like we just started.
Is this episode, are we on episode 4 or 3?
No, we're on episode 3, but next week is 4. This is
I thought we were on 4.
See,
really? I feel like we've done more.
I know, I don't know. I think this is 3. I don't know.
It is.
It's
3.
Okay.
Well, we want to first thank all of our viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in, subscribing, setting aside your time to hang out with us on Tuesday night. You know, thank you guys. I want to give a special shout out though to my assistant and friend who just this weekend got married. Oh my gosh. So it was a beautiful wedding one. I wanted to shout her out because she has been so helpful to me in my business. So I wanted to let her know that we appreciate you, Dion, and we are so happy for you and Spurge and your new beginnings. So I wanted to shout her out tonight. Also wanted to shout out our creative team, Chris, who, oh my gosh, you guys watching the videos, y'all see all of that stuff. Shout out to Chris, who is holding it down. Thank you. We appreciate you. Shout out to Reggie and Kevin and Jamal, Lashondra's children and her family. We want to shout all of you guys out for just taking your time out and letting us come together and just our support system. Like everyone said, you gotta have that support system. So we shout out our support teams. Give your business shout outs, lady. Where can people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, myeverythingbeautiful.ag. You can DM me your orders. My price list is online, but yeah, I do deliveries on Saturdays, but if you need anything special, just let me know. Flowers and other gifts and things.
Go ahead, Latoya.
And you can find me on Facebook at Divine Total Body Fitness or on IG at train_with_Toya.
All right, and you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Facebook Children of the King Daycare or Sena Williams Realty, or on Instagram it's Sena_Williams_Realtor or Children_of_the_King Daycare. A quick announcement before we get off. Next week, Andrea will not be here. She's gonna be celebrating with her boo thing for his birthday. Shout out to Mom, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But we do have a special visitor. She's not a guest because she's a part of the Boss Chicks. So we got a special visitor who's gonna be in the house holding it down for Andrea. Tanisha of Mocha Monica's beauty salon. She's gonna be here on Tuesday holding it down the fort for Andrea while Andrea is taking a break. Tanisha is a beautician.
I can't wait to see that one.
She's a wife, she's a mom, and she's expecting. That's why you guys have not seen her. So she'll be making appearances here and there, but she is balancing this life as a new mom and a new wife of two. So she'll be joining us next week. I was about to say tomorrow. Lord, y'all can tell I'm tired. Like, I am really tired. But once again, thank you guys all for joining in. Make sure you set your dial for Tuesday. We will be live on Facebook, live on YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook at Boss Chicks SD. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good night. Boss Chicks out.
Good night.
Boss Chicks, Boss Chicks, Boss Chicks, Boss Chicks, Boss Chicks, Boss Chicks.
To all the queens who sacrifice their dream, to all the queens who put their lives aside, this is now your time to shine. This is now your time to shine.
Boss Chicks, Boss Chicks.
Rise up.